Work. Greetings. Good evening. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? This is Chief Kalinago Flying Eagle here with another live video. I figured I'll drop a little something for y'all. It's been a long day, but productive day. First off, man, I definitely want to acknowledge the great spirit, universal intelligence, the universal source, the great I am. Also want to give thanks to my ancestors. I honor my ancestors every single day. I thank them for just guiding me and protecting me always. And I know that any weapons formed against me will not prosper because my ancestors are protecting me. And anyone that come up against me, I promise you, the ancestors are going to take them out. So I'm thankful for that. I have that protection. With that being said, hope you guys are having an amazing day. It's a beautiful time to be alive. If you don't know this, I'm going to talk to you guys today about birds and feathers. My goal is to, educate, us American Aborigines, AKA American Indians. A lot of the culture have been lost. So I've done a lot, like I said, a lot of research, have a lot of documents, a lot of information that I'm going to share with you. Me myself, I'm also in the process of learning, but we could all learn and grow together. We know a lot was stolen from us, and that's why I'm so determined, to share and just teach. So do me a favor, please go ahead and share this link on your respective platforms. Tag a few people that would like to learn that information. All right. So like I said, today in this lesson, we're going to talk about birds and feathers. Feathers is an intricate part of our culture. So I'm going to teach you guys a few things this evening. So let me make sure that I'm good on Facebook. Give me 1 second here. If you guys could hear me clearly, please go ahead and type 1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat, please. I would appreciate that. Thank you for the feedback. All right, cool. Yeah, so we got audio. All right, guys. Yeah, we got audio. We good. So I'm gonna get right into this. I'm not going to prolong this any longer. As you know, we do have our website, and when I say our website, the website that I created for us. This is our website. It's yours, okay? It's mine. It belongs to each and every one of us, and that's where you're gonna find a lot of information. I mean, get your children, plugged in because we got to teach the youth. Also, so I just posted that in the comments. Also, I created a Telegram for our site, for us. Okay, and reason being is because you never know what might happen. Look at what happened to Facebook earlier, right? Facebook was down for a few hours. Telegram was down. So just in case things happen, we need to have a way to keep in touch with each other constantly. So Telegram is another good way of doing that. All right. So guys, please do me a favor. Go to the Telegram and make sure that you join us on Telegram as well. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Let me just get that for y'all. Hold up for 1 second. I want to also put that in the chat, even if it's in the description. Let me close that out. And put it here in the description. Boom. All right. So you got the Telegram. All you got to do is click on the link. We'll be staying in contact there, giving updates. Great place to build as well as a network of people. All right. So let me get into this and share this screen and get into this evening's lesson. And of course, you could find that information on our site. Okay, so let me go ahead and share this. Share, boom, and Chrome window, and we are going to right here. So when you go to our site, family, again, this is our site. Remember, when I say our, I mean yours, mine, the children. Okay, everyone that want to learn a lot about us. That's what I'm putting all that information together. All right. All the years of research that site is going to be packed with information. All right. So you will not feel lost. I mean, it's taken a lot of time and energy to do it, but I love what I do. So it don't feel like work. But however, I am asking you guys to, to support, I mean, go on the homepage and support the effort so we could keep this thing going. All right. So here we have, I also, I put up, the 12 laws, 12 universal laws. We'll go over that another time. All right. But that's there as well. If you want to take a look at that, you just go to the website and you go into our spirituality slash religion section, and you could find a lot of things there as well. So that's there. But tonight we're going to talk about birds and feathers. So let's click on this downloadable PDF. And of course, I make it available for you guys to download as well. Okay. So you could always have that. All right. Let me see. Where do we have here? Why am I? Okay. Just give it some time to load. Okay. Why is it showing up like that? Like some parts of it are missing. Let me refresh the page. Give me a second, please. Refresh that page. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing and make sure I share it again, just to be on the safe side. Here we are. Beautiful. Let me make that a little bigger. Zoom in on that a little more. Okay, beautiful. I think that should do. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about birds and feathers, like I said. Feathers from any bird are important. All right, keep that in mind. All right. What we have to learn is, as American Aborigines, who, later were called, American Indians, nature was very, very, very important to us. Okay, we saw the great spirit in nature. Everything in nature, we looked at it as an extension of the great spirit. Now, for those of you who don't know, when our lands, were colonized and we were introduced to all these different forms of religion, our ancestors fought really hard and try not to use the word God, because the word God, it really doesn't have any origin. It was a made up word. Okay, but it really means, to pour libation and to evoke. However, our ancestors didn't feel comfortable in using the word God. To them, it didn't summarize what the all was. So the closest thing they came to express that in English was the Great Spirit. Okay, but so everything in nature, we saw the Great Spirit in everything. I just wanted you to know that. But we particularly had, a special relationship with birds. Okay, even if we had a relationship with just nature on a whole, but birds was very, very important to us. So that's why I felt it, imperative to talk to you guys about birds and feathers. I'll be talking to you guys a lot about the culture and teaching you guys a lot of the information that we have gathered, because it's important to get back to our culture. All right. So that is the intended purpose of teaching and spending so much time doing the research and putting this site together. All right. So birds and feathers. Let's go. Feathers from any bird are important. Birds are from the upper world, and any part of them does not belong to the person who holds it. All right, I'm going to read that again. Birds are from the upper world, and any part of them does not belong to the person who holds it. Feathers are very important to our people and are used in ceremonies, dancing, and medicine. If you happen to find a feather or a dead bird or any part of one, you must decide if you are going to walk or you're going to walk on, by, or collect it. Before collecting it, you should leave a gift of tobacco thanking grandfather as well as the bird, assuring grandfather that the item will be honored while in your possession. Once the item is collected, then the care of it becomes important. All right. So once again, like even in my travels, right? I remember one time I was traveling and I was doing so much work at that time. I was overwhelmed to the point where I literally wanted to give up. And I just felt a slight disconnect from my ancestors. And I'm talking about, I mean, I was way deep into my meditation and feeling their presence, but I just felt like, you know what? I just needed some more support. And I was doing about a 15-hour travel, and and I was mad, and I started literally cursing them out. I mean, not using obscenity, but like really mad at them. And I'm like, yo, you know, what y'all got me doing this for? And I'm tired, and you know, show me that you're with me. Give me a gift from the sky. I need some feathers. Like, yo, I was going in. Lo and behold, not even 5 minutes into, from me literally cursing out the ancestors, I saw a whole hawk. I stopped. Okay. I stopped. I did my little ritual, give thanks, to the Great Spirit. For me, I don't call the Great Spirit grandfather. Okay. That later became a thing where we looked at, the Great Spirit as a male figure. And that was part of, because of colonization, because they had a patriarchal system. All right. So I just thank the Great Spirit, not giving it a gender. But anyway, the point I'm making is the ancestors gave me a whole hawk. All right. So I was good. All right. I did my ritual. I thanked them and I let them know that I'll take care of those feathers now that it's in my possession. So I'm traveling. Family, they didn't just give me one hawk. That same day, on that same travel, the ancestors gave me 4 whole hawks, 4 of them. And I'm like, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just thank you for letting me know that you're with me and you hear me. I'm telling y'all, this is real. Like, people don't think talking to the ancestors is real. Like, they respond to me. You know what I'm saying? And that day I was really mad. And they gave me those gifts, to kind of like just put me at ease and show me that, they're with me. So I just kind of want you guys to know how important that is, because I was asking them from a gift from above, and I know birds are from the upper world because of the flight that they take. All right, so that's very important. So I'm going to read that paragraph again. I just wanted to kind of interject and tell you guys my story. All right, so feathers from any bird are important. Birds are from the upper world, and any part of them does not belong to the person who holds it. Feathers are very important to our people and are used in ceremonies, dancing, and medicine. If you happen to find a feather or a dead bird or any part of one, you must decide if you are going to walk on by or collect it. Before collecting it, you should leave a gift of tobacco thanking the grandfather or great spirit, as well as the bird, assuring the Great Spirit that the item will be honored while in possession. Once the item is collected, then the care of it becomes important. The feather, the feather we have maybe with a person for their entire life, or they can be passed on when the time is right. For instance, I've had some feathers that were important to me, but I've traveled, and in my travels, the spirit spoke to me, and I had to take some feathers from my crown, okay, and give it to gifts as children. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes feathers could be with you for a lifetime, and sometimes they have to be passed on. If the Great Spirit speak to you, or any type of feather, whatever you may have, or any part of an animal, and the Great Spirit talk to you and say, hey, listen, give that person or give it to someone as a gift, you have to be obedient and do that, or else, okay, the spirit of that animal or that feather, okay, will not bring any good to your life, because you disobeyed the Great Spirit by passing on that gift to that person where it was their time to have that gift. So always make sure you listen to the Great Spirit, whenever you get any type of feathers and you're being directed to give it to someone as a gift. Don't be disobedient, okay? Now, while any part of a bird is in our possession, we must be careful to act honorably. with each person should do any. It is said, if you act in a way which is not honorable, the bird takes its information to the Great Spirit, and there could be a negative consequence or negative consequences. So once again, since I always have my feathers, I'm always mindful of the way that I deal with people, treat people, the way I walk, the way I talk. So I'm always honorable. I don't deceive people. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't do none of that, because I know that my feathers, they came again from the upper realms, and my actions are being taken and carried to my ancestors, and I know there's karma for that. All right, so reason to let you guys know why I am the way that I am. Okay, all that is part of my culture that builds me up to the man that I am today. Okay, now with gifts, to give someone any which was given to you by someone is an act which is not honorable. The exception to this would be that with feathers there may come a time that you feel the need to pass it on. When this occurs and the feather is passed on, the action is not of dishonor. Now, just so you know, in our culture, when someone gives you a gift from the heart, when you give it away, that's considered to be dishonorable. However, when it comes to feathers, that's not being dishonorable, because there comes a time where you may have to depart from that feather and give it on to somebody else so they could take flight. Okay, so it could be a gift to them. So when it comes to feathers, that's not being dishonorable. Okay, now this is because the feather never really was ours to begin with. It belongs to the bird and the Great Spirit. You know what? I'm gonna re-edit that and put Great Spirit everywhere I see there's grandfather, because I just feel like, you know, the women, the matriarch is always left out, and definitely, you know, I don't condone that. All right. Now note, the three words are one. The three worlds are one. The lower world, where animals live on the ground, in the water. This world, where the four-footed animals, insects, and man lives, and the upper world, where the birds live. There are special ways that a person stores a feather, gives a feather, or disposes of one out feathers. It is said that a warrior will die when a feather of a warbird drops on the ground or the dirt. Remember, a warbird is a bird of prey, i.e., examples of that are falcons and hawks and eagles, etc. So special care is taken that this does not happen while it is in your care. The storing of feathers is as diverse as there are birds. The way we were taught was that each one is placed in red cloth with some sage, cedar, or tobacco. The bundles of red cloth are then placed in a cedar box. If you have one, you can store them in a shoebox and place them in a closet. We add mothballs to the container that the feathers go into. This kills the mites that would destroy them. All right, so I keep my feathers in a shoebox, and I have some sage. All right, I don't have mothballs, but you know, eventually I'll get some. But I've had mine in a shoebox for a while, because I like to, you know, protect and treat my feathers. Okay. Let me just scroll down here a little bit. Owl feathers should not be stored in the house. Okay, keep that in mind. Owl feathers should not be stored in the house you live in unless you have no other option. They should be in another building, such as a shed or outhouse. If you must store them in a house, put them in a shoebox in a closet, away from the day bird, away from any of the day bird's feather. An owl is a night bird, i.e., a warrior bird that hunts and flies primarily at night. There is nothing negative about the bird or its feathers. There are many Native Americans who believe that an owl is a ghost, but this could be more untrue. This belief came from the priests who arrived here with the Europeans and were witch hunters. They believed that anything that moved at night was either a ghost or had something to do with the practice of witchcraft. This is why our people were referred to as heathens, for we sang and danced at nights around a fire. It made it look even worse, for we did this at every full moon. This idea has permeated our culture to the point that one could never convince someone of the opposite. In today's world, birds of prey are given to either female or males and are worn on their dance regalia. In the old days, only a male was allowed to wear one of these feathers. There were no big powwows for the purpose of entertainment of people. The dances were done as praise to the Great Spirit. I am not going to say that a female cannot wear an eagle feather on her dance regalia. This is up to each individual to decide with the Great Spirit if they feel they are honoring the bird with this type of action. We do not feel that women should wear the birds of prey feathers. This is our personal belief. The decision is left up to each nation one belongs to. If you need any further information about feathers as gifts to women, look at the gifts lesson. All right, now, again, a part of the culture is, well, not in every culture or every tribe, but a lot of tribes, women did not wear feathers of prey. All right, that was done for, more or less so protection. All right, but every different tribe had their own belief on that. All right, but that was the reason why. Okay. You see here, a second, and I went too far. Give me a second, guys. I just scrolled down too far. All right, here we go. Disposing of feathers was done by someone in the tribe appointed to do this. One should never bury feathers. This mixes the lower world and the upper world, and it's never done. Okay, so if you have feathers and you feel like, they're getting old, even if they're getting old or worn out, you should never just dispose them. Never bury them, because why? Again, the feathers, they belong to the birds. The birds are from the upper world, and you should never mix the two together. Okay, that's in what they would call superstitious or superstitions in our culture. So it's never done. Okay. Another aspect of feathers is their meaning. Some birds were primarily used by warriors, and the meaning was for them. Each war bird represents a warrior's level he has obtained through deeds, age, and medicine. There are a few women warriors and women medicine people who can wear the feathers from the birds of prey. Usually, though, women do not wear feathers in their hair, as this denotes some level of warrior, which most women have not attained. And that's true. It is nothing against a woman, or how some people may put it, you know, male, chauvinistic, or it's just, again, just part of the culture. Okay. A lot of warrior women wore certain feathers, but people don't realize that not everyone wore just any feathers. You had to, it was so sacred that you had to pay your dues in order to get certain feathers. All right. Nowadays, anybody just wearing feathers just because. I get it. We are trying to get back to our culture, and we don't know. That's why I'm taking my time and breaking these things down for you, so we could do it the right way. Because certain things that you do, if you don't know what you're doing, it could still bring you harm. All right. So this is very important to make sure that we learn that information. Okay. Now, let me see where we are at. Here we go. When given a bird of prey feather, she can use it for saging. This is done nowadays, but it was not done by our ancestors. If the woman is instructed as to how to wear the feather on the ear, then that would be an honorable way she could use it. The following explains some of the meaning of the feathers from different birds. We have the cardinal, which is red. The cardinal, red, stands for the east and is referred to as the daughter of the sun. The cardinal, okay? The cardinal blue, or the cardinal is red. So it stands for the east and is referred to as the daughter of the sun. We have the macaw, which is a blue and yellow bird, stands for the north and is called the sunbird. It was traded from far to the south where the sun shines most of the time. The macaw, blue and red. This was also considered to be one of the birds of the sun. It is referred to as bird of fire because of the red on the feather. It is considered a very sacred bird, and only a high medicine or warrior person would use it. Again, just because we are Aborigines and aka American Indians, it doesn't mean we could just wear any feathers. All right. There could be spiritual implications. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just letting you know that is the culture. All right. And we have to learn these things. Okay. Raven black stands for the West and stands for the second level warrior. Just because it is the bird of the West and is black does not mean it represents death. The West is black, for it is where the great spirit sun goes down. The feathers are only used by the raven warriors or to be placed under a new fire by the medicine person. The Tlingit Hadia, northwest coast of the US and Alaska, say this bird created man, so it is always up at the top of a totem pole. Now remember, in every American Indian culture, for the most part, each of them had their own creation story. All right. They all had their creation story. So keep that in mind as well. The snow egret, white, stands for the south and peace. The mating plums are worn by the great sun. They stand up in front of the turban wrapped around his head. Its wing and tail feathers are used by men at green corn for the pole dance. Each woman at the green corn is given egret feathers, which are on the plume for the feather dance and for their participation in the green corn medicine. All right. And when one of my elders, had transitioned, before he transitioned, we had done our first green corn festival, and it meant so much to him. I'm so glad, because he knew who he was, but he never really had anybody to celebrate it and be a part of anything. So when we had formed our nation, one of our first big events was a green corn festival, and I'm just so happy that he experienced that before he transitioned. So much respect to my ancestor, Black Wolf. I'm glad that he was able to transition and experience that with us. All right. We have the dove. Gray morning dove stands for peace and the dove clan. We have the sandhill crane, sand, a warbird which stands for a warrior of high rank. The feathers are treated the same as the hawks. The buzzard, black, gray, the medicine bird of all the birds, for he can eat dead things and live. We have the owl, any type. This is the messenger, warrior bird of the night. Its counterpart is the hawk, the day messenger bird. The horned owl and barred owl are very large owls. The screech owl with its reddish eyes is a small owl. The turkey. Turkey, wild brown, considered an important and wise bird. The tail feathers are used to make fan for honor. They are depicted on shell engraving from the Mississippi Mound period. The body feathers are sewn on a mesh net on a mesh net to make a cape for the high-ranking men of the culture, including the great sun. The white striped wing feathers are used on arrows for the fletching. And now fletching, which I put here, I make sure I wanted to put the description so you know what fletching is. Fletching is something you put on arrows, not bow and arrows, but arrows to balance the weight of the arrow. Okay, so fletching balances the weight of the arrowhead to prevent the arrow from tumbling end over end in flight. When fletched properly, An arrow may spin in flight, producing an ideal trajectory. A similar effectiveness is gained by placing grooves in the barrel of a rifle to cause the bullet to spin. So once again, as you can see, everything that you see right now, it came from our indigenous culture. All right, they will not tell you that, but that's just the truth. And some people may think I'm biased. You know what? The truth is biased. Okay, but it is simply the truth. They got the concept from the spinning gun, the spinning bullet in the barrel from fletching arrows. Okay, the blue jay. The feathers are not kept from this bird, for it is considered a trickster. The blue jay calls a warning when snakes are around, but he does this calling so much you really can't tell if he is just hollering or warning you. So you do not know if the screams are hurtful or not. Blue heron, either blue or gray, a war bird which stands for a warrior of high rank. The feathers are treated the same as the hawk. Then we have the crow. The crow. All right, crowtail feathers are given to boys that have just gone through manhood. The feather indicates he wants to be a warrior. So, a lot of you that if you don't know, in our culture, when the boys are 12, okay, they are gone with the men. They are taken with the men for at least 6 months, okay, and they take them into the wilderness. They take them to travel, teach them how to canoe, teach them how to hunt, teach them how to fish, okay. And when they feel like they have attained manhood, they will be given crow feathers, because if he chooses to be a warrior, then he'll get a crow feather to symbolize that he is on that path to becoming a warrior, okay. And they did it sometimes with women too. Sometimes women would live not for 6 months that long, but they would live sometimes to go to be trained as warriors, as female warriors as well, or women warriors, okay. The red shoulder hawk. The wing feathers of the red shoulder hawk are worn by a warrior who has reached a level of three of being a warrior. The tail feathers are worn by a warrior who has obtained a position above that of the third level. Okay, we had different levels of, like how you see they have in the army, they have different levels of achievement or ranks. We also had that as well, or in what we call, whether you want to call it the warrior dome or whatever the case may be, but they had different levels of being a warrior. A pileated woodpecker, either black or white. This bird was highly respected by our ancestors. It was engraved in a shell stone and other mediums. It is considered a warrior bird, for his head is red. Bald eagle. The feathers from this bird are used by warriors who can no longer fight, are disabled, or are elders over 50. All right, and that's the bald eagle. The peregrine falcon. The tail feathers are worn only by medicine men. This bird's design is one of the most used designs of our ancestors and has been drawn on shells, stones, copper, and wooden items. If you look closely at the bird's head, you will see it is the only bird with a forked eye. Okay, this symbol is used quite often in pre-Columbian art. Some of the warriors paint a forked eye on themselves before dancing. This signifies a very high-ranking warrior. The design was also used on the sacred mythical animal Uctinina. What has been mistakenly said to be eagle dances by the archaeologists is now corrected to be falcon dances. This bird is probably where the thunderbird got its origin. It is the only bird which dives over 100 miles per hour and kills its prey with such a deadly force. It does this in one strike. Then we have the golden eagle. The feathers from this bird are used by medicine warriors who have obtained top level of medicine or is a medicine elder over 50 years. We have the osprey, black or white. This is a bird of prey and is considered to be a high-ranked warrior. The hummingbird. This is a very sacred bird. She brought the tobacco back to man. The hummer is one of the birds drawn out on the Nazca plain so the complete bird can only be seen in its entirety from up in the air. House wren. This bird is welcome into any home of the Southeast Indians. It is supposed to be good luck to have one living in the house. The ahinga, the snake bird. The feathers of this bird are used by medicine people and are very sacred. It is said he hunts in the lower world, the underwater. We have the quail. One of the stumps of the Cherokee is named after this bird. We have the prairie chicken. This bird is mimicked by the Plains Indian dances with their bustles and their dance movements. The parrot. This is the extinct South Carolina parrot. It was held in high esteem and hunted to extinction by the English for its feathers. There is an effigy pipe made to depict this bird. The kingfisher. In an old story, it was said he should have been a warrior, but was not. He obtained a long bill and gigs for fish. The partridge. In an old story, this bird stole his whistle from a turtle. The robin. This bird is a good indicator of a change in the climate. It let our ancestors know of the coming of spring and winter. Its migrations are based on very precise measures of the climate. There are many other birds whose migration marked the passing of the season for our ancestors. All right. Please do not forget to support our website. Okay, guys. So I just wanted to come share that bit of information with you guys. Like I said, another time I will do what we call the 12 universal laws. But even before I get into that, I definitely want to, I will go over the colors of the 4 directions. I will go over gifts when we are giving gifts, how we're supposed to give gifts. I'll go over how the tobacco, I'll talk about the tobacco. I'll talk about the mother mound. I'll talk about the code talkers. I will talk about the first fire. I will talk about the long journey. And I'll talk about why are eagles sacred. All right. So all these I will go over with you and talk to you guys about that before I get into the 12 universal laws. All right. So guys, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you found some value. Once again, this site is our site is for us. Make sure you go to the site, get familiar with it, get your children tuned in, because no other place that I know is teaching that stuff. And that's why I am so determined, okay, to load this website with so much information that people will not be lost. Okay. So I hope you found some value in birds and feathers. And this is your brother, Chief Kalinago, Flying Eagle. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and enjoy. You guys have a blissful continuation. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.